Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. So this will be the podcast episode 2. So in this video, like, we have covered a really important topics. Right now I'm saying this because I just completed. I will just upload the podcast right now, in some time. So I just remember that I haven't make an intro or something like that. But yeah, so my point is, the in this video, like, I have covered really important topics that is about some certain peoples, and about the moving average especially. I didn't know like this much things are going on with him too. But I really suggest you guys don't skip the whole podcast, just watch little by little if you like. And that's it. Continue on the video, and that's it. So guys, welcome back to another video, and we have Taylor here from Perfect Entry. So Taylor, just introduce yourself, and yeah.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm from Perfect Entry, and I've been trading since 2018 and profitable since 2019.
That's great. Okay, give a little bit about like what you do, right, on your daily life, and what is Perfect Entry, what it's about.
What do I do? I mean, my when it comes to the company, I've got a very simple catchphrase because it's what I want. It's we make profitable traders because that's what I want to do. Um, how do I do it? We provide indicators, signals, courses, just everything that we can pack in to make people profitable. And of the 13,800 customers, I think we've succeeded.
That's great. That's good. So, guys, I was with Taylor since I think in 2021, right? We started.
Um, I
When was
think
the
late
Pip Hunter?
2020 would have been when we first spoke.
Okay, and
Before Perfect Entry, it was before Perfect Entry is when we first spoke, and that was 2020, like sort of November, December 2020. I think you joined my old Discord, which was when it
yeah,
was called
Pip
Pip
Hunter.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Uh, and then that split off to form Perfect Entry in 2021.
Okay. So, guys, let me tell you one small story. When I started learning about the trading, so I didn't know as other people. I started with the binary option, and Taylor was the first person who given me $100 to trade with a live account, which I blew up eventually. But yeah, so I'm gonna tell you one thing that I have been with him. Like, when I started learning, I was learning through indicators as well, and I have gone through a lot of indicators, and his indicator were way better than others because it was with a real live backtest data and everything. It was all there in the group. So it's nothing like that I'm saying it because he was my friend or something, but I'm genuinely saying it because I learned from him. So yeah. Okay, first of all, I will ask you, Taylor, that what do you think about the recent events that are gone through with my Forex fund, $300 million Ponzi scheme?
My Forex funds is a joke. I first realized there was an issue with them, I think it was like March, and I posted in my group that, hey, stop using my Forex funds, go somewhere else because they're not to be trusted. So
Okay.
to see them collapse in such like glorious style of just going and everything at once, it was like, yep, I kind of expected that. Um, but I think it's more of a Canadian regulatory issue. I mean, if you look at the ones that have gone recently, it's Funding Talent and My Forex Funds, both very big names, both Canadian, both suffering with similar issues.
Yeah. So, do you think like it will be bad for whole prop firm industry, or the which are prop firm just registered with UK and sorry, US and Canada?
I don't see it having an issue at all. In fact, if anything, it's a good thing. There's the whole saying of all publicity is good publicity. So I think the fact that if it gets into a sort of more mainstream, people might go, "Oh, this prop firm has gone bankrupt and it's cost this much. But then they'll go, well, what's a prop firm? And then from what's a prop firm, it's, well, what's a trustable prop firm? And you'll end up with more people coming in anyway. So I don't think for the industry as a whole, it's a bad thing. The only thing I can consider is that for prop firms in Canada, it might be a bad thing because they might get more scrutiny.
Okay. Okay. So, are you currently trading any prop firm capital or just your own?
I went through an FTMO challenge recently, which I passed, and if you go to my CDOR method PDF, it's on the first page, the certificate, just like it. There you go.
Okay. Okay.
And then, other than that, currently I'm not. I have got a bespoke funding challenge that I'm playing with, but I'm not like seriously going through it. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, and another question is, before trading, before like even you got into trading, what was your main thing, what you was doing, and how did you
Before
start with
I
trading?
so the very first time I looked at trading was about 2015. I was in sixth form, which is like year 12 and 13 for anyone not familiar with what sixth form is in a school system. Is grade 12, 13. And I remember opening a trading 212 account and just sort of casually just playing with it, seeing how it worked and everything like that. And then the first time I stepped into it really seriously was late August, early September 2018. From there, I started learning, and then mid 2019, late 2019 was when I really started to find some profitability. And then during COVID is when I decided, hey, actually, I'm going to set up what at the time was called Pip Hunter. And I launched that, I think, April 17th or something.
Okay. So, before trading, what you were doing?
I was in engineering.
Okay.
I did vehicle dynamics and car design.
Okay. 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 Great. Okay, so I know that you trade with indicators and you have that. So I have question like, why indicators? Like, what do you think? What's the difference between the price action? People who are trading with price action and trading with indicator, what's the difference? Why do you suggest other people to trade with indicators other than price actions? Like, what's your point of view there?
So when I first started to become profitable, I started with price action. Now, the thing that had got me up until that point was that I realized that when your market is mostly played with and handled by mathematics and algorithms, the people behind it don't actively trade. They just click the buttons that the system tells them to do. They're not actively sitting there trading. That fundamentally, the market is pushed and moved by maths. We are trying to add qualitative analysis to something that's purely quantitative. If you then start adding quantitative information from yourself or from maths that you've done yourself, suddenly you're not just like glorified dice rolling and going, yep, this was a winner, or yep, this did not win. You're now actually putting numbers in and going, I have this data and this statistics that says I'm going to get this result.
So
So
you
that's why I believe indicators are better, because price action is just glorified dice rolling. If you want a dice roll, go to a casino.
okay. So basically, you believe in the mathematical numbers and everything. So that provides the data, which is more better and proven strategy that you think, right?
Yeah, I don't see a point in price action
Okay.
trading when it's not based off maths.
So like, okay, then like, what do you think on what's your view on ICT and SMC like concept like that, like the way they trade? Have you?
Uh, my opinion on SMC is the same as it has been since people started talking about SMC, which is, yeah, it works in some instances, but again, it's glorified dice rolling. Just because it looks good on paper doesn't mean that
So
over
basic.
10,000 trades is going to be good.
So people just draw it well and to show the people. That's why they like the chart that way. Do you think
You
that?
might get, sure, you might get a few consecutive trades right. You might get even like 6 months or a year of trades all right. but when you're just dice rolling, eventually that dice starts rolling against you.
Yeah, sure. That's true. Probability is the important factor in trading. That's true. So, okay. I like from my side, ICD, and like I have tried to learn, but it didn't work. Like when I applied to live market, it wasn't going that well. So I don't think. And the thing is, when you apply to live market with your live capital, the thing is like there will be too much, thing in your going head. Like what if price make this move and that move? So that could be an issue as well if you are a new beginner and going through ICT concepts. That's
Yeah,
my
it's
point
really
of view.
good retrospectively. Like hindsight is 2020, and you can go through and analyze. Hey, this is the last 100 candles. It's done this move and this move and this move and this move, and you can analyze it exactly spot on. But when you're waiting on the next 20 candles to appear, there could be one of seven different scenarios.
Okay. So, and what's your like? Okay, everyone's gonna want to know like from the last, let's say, year, how much like profit have you made, and like what's your winning trades that you think was great one?
In the last year, so 2023, and I'm not going to include 2022 at all. The last year, I have taken the first 3 months of the year off, so that runs us up until mid March. From mid March to about May, I started going through a prop firm. That, in fact, I posted in Discord when I was going through one, of which my first account was swallowed whole by, I think it was an FTMO challenge, because I'd held the position overnight, and all of a sudden the spreads went up by 45 and a half pips, and I was like, okay, thanks. And then I closed that trade,
It
45
was
and a
it
half
was
pips.
with FTMO or my Forex one?
No, that one was FTMO.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I closed that trade, and then noticed the spread jumped down to 15 pips like seconds later, and I was like, okay, 15 pips isn't bad. So I entered again and went, why is the spread now 45 pips again?
Yeah.
At which point I
So
closed it
you
and then
had
kind of went, I'm done trading that for now. So that
you had an issue with my Forex fund as well, right? So can you describe like what happened that time?
so my Forex funds, the issue was that I'd paid via crypto, which they accept crypto.
Okay.
I'd offered crypto. I paid exactly through their system, how they wanted it. And the blockchain confirms the transaction. The blockchain still confirms the transaction went through. They
Okay.
say that it never went through and thus never gave me an account nor a refund. So they just kind of swallowed the money and went, thanks for that.
Wow.
Literally
Like
2 months of
literally.
arguing back and forth daily. And they were like, yeah, no, we haven't got the funds. And I'm like, but the blockchain says you do. And then they would just ignore me. So I'd talk to them the next day and the same would happen.
Yeah. So have you read the document? Like in that they have uh, tell the like in the hearing that they said like they had a backend software running which was doing slippage. Okay, so they were doing making that slippage to lose the funded account. So they still haven't disclosed that software to public, because I don't know why. And what do you think other like if we didn't know till now they were using that some kind of a software like that, is it possible to use by other platforms as well?
I know that there are other prop firms using it because I've seen it firsthand, tested it, and like taken notes and even questioned prop firms on it before. Like a few other firms. I know FTMO are doing it. I knew MFF were doing it because I've seen it last year. And I know a couple other firms that also do it. I'm not going to disclose names, that they actively slip traders. So that's not a surprise at all. Uh, why? Because it's easy money for them. Should they do it ethically and morally? No, but they're going to do it because it's easy money.
Yeah, that's true. So like what do you suggest, what's your advice to the new traders that are just starting up and going through a prop firm, or what
To
would be your
avoid
advice?
slippage, the easy way to avoid slippage is don't hold trades overnight. especially at market handover hour, or in fact 2 hours with prop firms. If you're not holding trades during those 2 hours with prop firms, they're going to struggle to slip you. The other thing is news. If you're trading through news, you're going to get slippage, especially with prop firms. So watch Forex Factory, and if you see some news, stop trading, like close your trades like an hour before, and then reopen them like an hour after.
So, yeah, that I agree with you. Like since from my side, like my forex fund, I had two accounts with them before. I when I was in India, right? So I was like, let's buy 100K account. I did that, and actually I passed the phase one. Then when I went to second phase, so I never went into profit, and I just lost the whole account. So I thought maybe I was too excited because I passed the phase one for the first time. So I was like, let's bought another 100K funded account. I did that, and guess what? It just happened the same way. That was the first thing. So I passed the phase one, and when I went to phase two, it didn't go in profit, and it just lost.
If there's no other method change or risk change, then it becomes a glaring issue that if everything is kept the same, like method and everything, then there has to be something else at play. But I would also consider that if your trading is exactly the same, sometimes market conditions won't be the same, and it could just be that was the cause. For instance, like if you've passed phase one in week 1 and 2 of the month, got to it, and then week 3, 4 became the issue, then it's the actual movement over the course of a month more than anything. Like if you were to look at the monthly candle on anything, you get a wick, you know that wick's probably in the last week. So it could just be a matter of fact of you were taking your second phase on that last like the last week or the first week, and it's the price action difference then.
Possible, yeah. That's true. So, like, since after that, I came here and I started trading again with prop firms, but like I wasn't profitable at all. So in India, I had my own small personal account. I had trade with that, and I was consistent little bit. Like by the end of the month, I was making little profit at least. So, like since I moved here, like I wasn't profitable at all.
Then I would look at the hours you're trading, because you're probably trading on different hours.
Yeah, that's true. Like in that, like, okay, I can say one thing: I had no pressure in India. Like everything was taken care of because I was living with my own family, and I had no tension of me, paying the rent, doing food, doing this, doing that. So like, do you think maybe because of that it have?
Yeah, outside pressure always makes a difference, but I would also consider the times you're trading. You'll find that, and I noticed it from here back to the UK. When I was in the UK a few weeks ago, I was trading on different hours to what I am now, and I was finding that it just happened to suit my psychology of that time of the day being for trading a little bit better. So, like here, if I want to trade just as accurately here, I'd need to wake up slightly later in the day, and I'd have to adjust myself to be psychologically right. So what I would say is, because from India to France is a huge time difference. It's like
That's true.
must be what, 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
So either you need to start your day 4.5 hours later, no,
Yeah.
earlier, 4.5 hours earlier, being in Paris, or you have to work out the mind, like the psychological differences, and build yourself to being on your new time zone.
Hmm. Yeah, that I can try. Like I was thinking like as I was trading with a personal account, I was thinking to start with a personal account and see, like maybe it was because I had an with the prop firm they already set the targets and everything, so maybe that hit it.
Personal accounts are easier because you've got more flexibility. It's not because of targets, it's because of your threshold for risk. Personal
Okay.
risk is easier when it's than prop firm risk, because if you go and place a trade and go, ah, that was actually slightly too much drawdown. Well, that's on
Okay.
you. If you're with a prop firm, they kick you off and you're done. So you think and worry about it a lot more.
Okay. Okay, so in your trading journey, what was the downs part? Like I had mine. So you had anything like that? Like have you faced something that even if it's like a something that is outside trading or like inside due to trading?
Trading wise, I had my loss period. It was about 6 weeks after I started trade. So, right, I started trading with a signal because of a signal service. I realized within the first week that they lost every single day except Friday. I then, based off going through all of their history on my WhatsApp chat, so I then started counter trading them every single day except Friday. And lo and behold, I was winning. Um, then after like 6 weeks, they kicked me out because I was gloating too much that I was making money and they weren't. So that's when I started learning, and that's where my losses started. So
Okay.
then about maybe 6 months of losing, and then maybe another 3 or 4 months of break even, I was then finally profitable. But during that streak of losing, I think I was burning like maybe $200 to $300 a week, maybe every 2 weeks.
Okay. So, okay, like every successful trader, do you have any kind of a hobby of like, car, people show off. So, do you like I have seen your YouTube channel, you haven't done anything like that. So, do you have any kind of sports cars or maybe something that is like, expensive stuff?
My
Do
My
you
hopeless addiction is old pieces of junk known as cars. I currently have four, none of which are working. Um, so
okay.
yes, I'm technically without a car right now because all four of my cars are broken. Um, to go through in age order, there's a 1976 Triumph Spitfire, which I literally stripped to a bare chassis, built the body up by hand,
Oh,
made a roll cage, rebuilt the engine, including like designing my own camshaft and all kinds of dumb stuff just to make it fun. Then we go on to my next oldest car, which is my 1987 Toyota Supra,
you have a Supra.
um, Mark III, not Mark IV. Uh, the final goal for that is to finish putting a Ford Barrett engine in it, so I can make like I don't know 2,500 wheel horsepower and have it as a drag car. In the short term, I'm thinking I might put like a 1JZ or even put another 7M GTE back in and just make like 500 horsepower and cruise around in it. Um, then I've got a 1989 Toyota Celica GT4. That's fully built engine, 550 brake horsepower, all wheel drive, but completely sleeper. From the outside, it literally looks completely stock. It's even got like small dents in the wings and stuff. Like it's not immaculate at all. Like if you were to look down the side, you'll see like ripples in the door panel from where it's had filler work and stuff like that from previous owners.
Okay.
And then when it drives, it's like, and we're gone. And then
Great.
my newest car is a 2004 Mazda RX-8, which I'm putting a 1.9 VW diesel engine in because that's the car that was working most recently. It blew up in April.
Blew up?
I was driving down the road and the engine exploded on me, completely like bang, with like a
Oh.
12-foot flame out the exhaust, and then just coasted to a stop.
Oh, so you didn't had any injuries, right? You were safe?
Oh yeah, there was no injuries to anyone, just a big flame and a bruised ego.
Okay. That's interesting. Like every trader show like till for now it's like really common. Every new trader coming up showing the Lamborghini, showing that they have this Rolex, they have this money. So like I want to interview people or making podcast with them. When I do that, it's not like they shouldn't have that, they should have that, but it's like some people do marketing only. So like I
Yeah,
just want to,
I
because I have seen your Discord, I have seen your Instagram page, your YouTube, you haven't shown anything. So I was just curious to ask that.
So when it comes to like possessions, if it's not a car, I don't really care. Like watches, uh, my most common watch is this. It's an Armani watch that my parents got me just as I left the UK for the first time, like to come to Dubai. So I keep it for sentimental value. I have my cars, and that's about it.
That's
I
great.
mean,
That's
I
great.
have.
So you are just not that person who likes to.
I don't value material possessions
Okay.
really. Cars, sure, but then I don't value modern cars. Like if someone went, "Hey, here's a Tesla, have it for free," I'd be like, "You can keep it. I want the 1967 VW Beetle that's sitting next to it. I don't want modern junk. I want the old stuff.
Okay. So you like manual, right?
Give me something old and I'll be happy."
That's great. Okay. So from your side, is there anything you would like to say, or
In terms of,
in terms of like for advice or for training others, or maybe from your side, from your life journey that you would like to say to people from your side? Anything?
I would say for people who are beginning trading, the biggest thing that they can do is to, and it's going to sound cliche because everyone says it, but to not give up. Because there are times, and I admit I was almost one of them, that in my 6 months of consistent losing, I was like, maybe I should just not waste this money and I could put it towards something else. But then, like, I look at it now and realize, hey, this is now 2023. I've retired my mother, like, she doesn't have to work again. I keep my parents' house going. I keep my house going. If I'd stayed on my course of the job I had at the time, this would never have been possible, and I simply could not have. So I would say don't give up. And even though sometimes it looks really hard on yourself, sometimes the end result is worth it.
Great. And another thing is like, what's your view on like people saying that dropping out of the college is a good idea, or like, what do you think?
I mean, I'm not someone who can talk because frankly, I didn't finish university. I did 2 years, but then because I'd moved here by that point, my UK university said, "Hey, we want everyone back on campus." This is post-lockdown world. Back on campus for year three, and I said, "Well, can I just stay remote?" Their Chinese students were staying remote because they weren't allowed to leave China, and I was like, "Well, can I just join them and stay online?" And they were like, "No," and I was like, "Well, I'm not coming back," and they said, "Well, then don't come back." And
Okay.
basically said, "Well, you can leave." And I was like, okay, so that was summer last year, and it's been essentially one school year, and I just haven't picked back up yet.
Okay, so you have done a high school and don't have any degrees, right?
No, I was midway through my economics degree and then just didn't get to go back.
Okay. And what do you think about 9 to 5 job?
I have no issues with people having 9 to 5 jobs.
It's a
It's
good
a
thing,
good way
right?
to build up capital.
It's a good
It's a
backup.
good way to build up capital and discipline. If you're just a kid who's never had a job, go get a job, even if it's just taking up a paper round, like delivering newspapers or something, because it's going to give you discipline.
Okay, so it helps in some part of your things that is important in the way of life, right?
Yeah, you need discipline, otherwise you're never going to survive in the world.
Got it. Okay. So I guess yeah, like that's all I had a questions. I'll line up for that. Maybe if you have any questions for me or related to something, go ahead.
I didn't have questions, but I did have a topic that when you suggested last night we do it today, that came to my mind, and I wanted. It's probably something that could be very divisive to the YouTube algorithm, whether it lets you work or like it'll either squish you or it will like shoot the video off into space. But in my head, I was thinking, hey, people always talk about gender inequality and stuff like that, and the whole feminism garbage that doesn't exist in the real world. But in trading, there is actually something interesting. I thought about it last night. I was like, out of all the people I've ever taught to trade through perfect entry, it's women who tend to do better than men. And I wanted to know if you'd ever noticed that women tend to be more successful than men in trading.
So you are asking me like if a woman is more successful in trading or the or man, right?
Percentage. So, like, if I was to look at it realistically, I would say out of all the people I've taught, maybe like 80%, like 95% of the people I've taught are men. But
Okay.
out of the percentages of each, I would say that the percentage of women who did really well was higher than the percentage of men who did really well. And I wondered if you'd come across that.
Like you are asking me a question. So okay, I have never uh, teach anyone who any female or woman. I mean, like I have never taught someone. So from my side, like it is possible. Some women have a really good, way of understanding and doing things, and they have a really good capabilities sometimes. So yes, it's possible that they have.
But yeah, I even managed to rationalize in my head why, and I was like, it's probably because they have a better mental threshold for risk than men do. Because I mean, men, we're just wild animals. We'll go and like stand on the wonkiest ladder on a cliff edge because we want to reach something. Like men do dumb shit. Let's be real here.
Yeah,
Women don't.
yeah. Okay,
Um,
so I have
and I
seen
considered that
people.
perhaps that's why.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
And I considered that because men do dumb shit, because we have a higher tolerance, women don't have that risk tolerance, and perhaps it's that risk tolerance that enables them to become profitable traders and more successful traders quicker. Because they're like, actually, if I do this, this would be done. Where men are like all in, pushing the poker chips forward.
uh the, like okay, so I agree on that part, like that's true. Men are like too risky. Even I like to take risk. So like okay, from my side I have taken a really big risk from coming from India to Paris without knowing anything much about this country. And
Did you even speak French?
what
Did you even? Can you speak French?
like I am learning it. Like I can just speak it like basic words, that is like
Mm,
hi, hello, and stuff like that.
yeah.
So uh, another thing is like from my side, uh, I have taken like another risk. Like if I was coming alone, that was another thing. But I came with my fiance here, so that's another level risk too, because that's two-person. And yeah, I agree. Like
If you
men are
fail, you'll
really.
then start making them suffer. Yeah, it's harder.
So like I agree. Like men are taking risk on the percentage wise. They take a lot of risk. That's true. And women do okay. From my side, I think they don't have that mentally pressure as well as men, like handling the family stuff, because I have seen some women who just would like to earn but spend only on themselves. And men, when they trying to earn, they it's most likely for their family and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's cultural though. Like, some cultures are very 50-50. Some cultures are like the man is the main provider. So it's depending on where. But
True, true.
for instance, I'm in the Middle East and it's expected the man provides for the family and the woman's money is for the woman. But if I go to like the UK or America, lots of places would be like, oh, 50-50. And it's like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I agree. Even like for me, when I come here, like even with my friends and everyone, we do not like pay bill from one side, because in India when I was going out with my friends, like we just one person just pay the whole bill.
Yeah.
And in here it's not like that. We all split the bill.
Yeah.
So like I like it. It's some ways it's good too, and some way it's like not to. I'm not sure like it's on the good part or it's on the bad part, but yeah, it is good on the one side that it will make you independent. But yeah, that's okay.
Uh, Yeah, I just didn't know if you'd like come across like the idea that women are often quicker to profitability or more likely to be profitable.
Man,
Do you have any other questions for me?
okay.
Okay.
So I have one question that is like when I was in your Discord group, I know that RT, the Moving Average YouTube channel, he was with you guys. He started with you guys, right? So what's that story like? Why they?
Right. So very, very originally, pre the moving average even beginning, I sat and spoke with Artie and was like, he came like we had a general talk because he comes from a marketing background. He'd done SEO work for other companies and he'd done
Yes,
marketing work
I have
for other
seen.
companies.
I have
So
checked his record. He was working with a company in crypto thing too. I have seen his YouTube channels, and like especially he was good at marketing things.
yeah. So I sat down, I'd spoke to him and gone, hey, look, we're looking at doing this. And this was when well, it was not called Perfect Entry, and it was also not directly part of Pip Hunter. It was going to be for a project called World Coinestone, where the idea was that we would take MLMs and we would flip up the order a little bit and do like automated stuff so that it would start filling people's downlines for them through marketing, and people could pay for extra marketing to build out their downline for them automatically, and that he was going to be the star of the show in terms of making content to help promote that.
Okay.
And then very, very quickly we realized, actually, we left we left the MLM and kind of went, fuck it, we'll just go straight in for our own thing. So we were running through Pip Hunter, which then became Perfect Entry as we just shifted and brought courses in and stuff like that. So that's how Perfect Entry started. Everything was working pretty well. I mean, how far should I go into details? Basically, when we're in the UK and for the first up until April 5th of 2022, so just after I'd moved into UAE, the way the company was operating was that all for tax reasons, we were chopping off the top 20% to go for UK tax,
Okay.
corporation tax, stuff like that. As it worked out that that's what it would roughly be. And then the rest, we just split 20, 25, 25, 25, 25.
Just
So
the
each,
company revenue just split in 25% to all of them, right?
yeah, so me, Brutus, Christy, and Artie.
Okay. So
We
they
all
all
got the same
started.
share.
They all started with you from there.
Yeah.
And currently,
Um,
so what do you think about RT right now? Like, as you know,
I was going to
he's
go
on
through
the
the whole
YouTube.
story.
What?
I was going to go through the whole story of where it broke down.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Continue. Continue. Sorry.
So everything was working. We got to about March 2022. Obviously, I'd moved in. I moved October 1st, 2021. So we got to just after them. So actually, the first thing that we noticed was that as soon as I moved, and we transitioned to UAE bank accounts. Obviously, transferring money to them being offshore was not the easiest. It was quite a complex arrangement. It got simpler over time as we found shortcuts and ways of doing things that were a little bit easier. But in general, it was not an easy transition. We got to February, March, and we were like, look, we're going to renegotiate the terms for the percentages each of us are going to get because, hey, in a month's time, we no longer have to worry about UK tax anymore. So we were starting to negotiate. I'd come up with an arrangement that meant that a couple that meant that they were earning more in theory. I was taking a pay cut, and I was taking the biggest pay cut, and then one of the others had to take a slight pay cut, but because of the added 20%, it meant that everyone was going to earn more as a whole. Because I was divvying it up based off the amount of work everyone does.
Okay.
This was not well received, and they then offered a counter one, which basically said that out of 100% of the company, I got like 12 or 13%, and that they got the rest between the three of them equally. And it was like, so the person who founded it now gets the least. And that's not an issue, but it was like they couldn't justify why. It's just that they wanted more. And I'd already offered them more, but I'd offered it based off who was doing what
You
work. And I was even providing data on the amount of hours that I was actually putting into it behind the scenes and stuff like that. Um, well, they then stopped talking to me. I kept trying to go, hey, look, where are we going with negotiations? Because the deadline's coming up. And then just went, well, if you're not going to like give me a suggestion on where you want to go with that, then we'll just keep on the same terms and we'll just build up a bank for now while we work it out. Well, on April 28th, they then made the announcement that they were leaving. It was all my fault. I don't care about the customer or anything. Meanwhile, when it comes to caring about the customer, I was the only one that actually would put time into customers like that. Artie and Christy used to regularly call them idiots in the admin chat. Brutus did genuinely care a little bit, but like when it came to customer care, I was like actively going and talking to people and trying to help them. But yeah, it's like you had Artie who was like, oh, they're idiots and stuff like that regularly in admin chat. Christy was the same. And then you had me and Brutus who actually genuinely cared about people. And yeah, I was painted like a monster because I put deposit on a house and was genuinely just moving on with life normally. And they were like, oh, look at him. He's buying multi-million-dollar houses and he doesn't care about you. He does no work. Meanwhile, I was doing a good amount of work,
so like he just
arguably more
turned them
than Artie
against
was
you.
doing directly for the company because Artie was just working on his YouTube channel. And it's like, so out of all of this, you basically shot the one person who genuinely tried to care and tried to paint yourselves as like martyrs and great like great people when actually you're the ones that don't care at all, which really annoyed me because it was like I genuinely thought for a short period of time about suing for slander because what they said was factually incorrect, but I decided I'd try and be the better person. um And overall, I'm kind of glad that Artie and Christy are gone. Brutus, I wouldn't mind coming back. Christy, I don't think I could work with long term. We used to rut horns proverbially and argue a fair amount. And then all of the strategies that were hers that I'd come up with and had done pre-testing anyway, and then would just go, hey, here's a method,
So
go
basically,
and do what you want.
you build all the products, all the things that is needed, and they you try to make it fair for everyone about the revenue wise, and they just cut you off and things get messy.
Yeah. And it's like, even when it came to like the back testing of some of the methods that Christy had put out, bear in mind, I was the one who came up with the method originally, and I had done my own preliminary testing to say, hey, this roughly works. Go and play with it and you'll get something you like. But suddenly when they left, it was like, hey, this testing is for me and me alone and it's mine. And they were very like, and she even said, if you don't remove it, I will get a lawyer to contact you with cease and desist. And it was like, at that point, I was like, I might just leave it there because one, UAE law is so complex they'd never get anywhere anyway. And two, it was like, well, actually, I was the one that came up with this method. Thank you very much. But I did just delete it because I was like, you know what? I can't be asked to deal with it. At the time, I had just transitioned between, and this is where I'm going to go into a little bit of my personal life. I transitioned from some medication that I used to take in the UK for a long period of time and had just come off that to go on to something else, which is technically an antidepressant, which was ruining me mentally, along with the side effects of coming off what I was on originally. So it's like I was mentally destroyed. I didn't want to wake up. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything. So when all of this happened and I was in the peak of that, it was like I genuinely, that night on the 29th, I genuinely considered killing myself. And then I didn't. And shortly after was when I was like, well, what does it all even matter for? Like, sure, perfect entry is shrinking because they've left, but it was more the damage that they'd done to me personally.
You
It
genuinely
was like a
considering.
personal attack on me when I was at my worst, yet they didn't even want to talk to me. It was like, so these people who have like tried to be your friend aren't actually your friend, and that's what I think hurt the most. But then we rebuild, life goes on.
Yeah, you
I'm
just come back
glad
to
I'm not the
independent.
person I was then.
That's that okay, that so okay, I didn't know much that, but like that's actually genuinely I didn't expect it that much. But like coming back from that, that's like a really good thing. Like, yeah.
The biggest change was probably around, so they left in April, but yeah, April 28th is when they left. And then the biggest change came on October 3rd. Um, October 3rd, I met someone that I still consider a friend to this day. If you're on Instagram, at Ken Radio, um, he gave me some things to think about and some things to try. And every still regularly, I keep in contact with him. And when he's here, I do meet up with him. Um, he was really useful. I mean, I
Yeah,
can't give him too much
yeah,
credit
no
because
kidding.
my like girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
was the main driving force of why I'm still here, but he helped me a lot.
That's good. Actually, having someone like that, it's really good. Like, so like we won't like I understand that I didn't expect it. Like I the so currently he have his own. I have seen his YouTube channel. He have his own indicators. He have his own courses and things like that.
Yeah, but some of those indicators are just direct copies from bits of mine.
Okay, so genuinely like I have seen like his YouTube channels. Like I was just I expected one thing, that sometimes he just feels like he's just marketing things. So as he belongs to that background, so I think maybe. And he actually never shown his profits as well. Like I don't think so he has shown any
The
profits.
thing is, for a considerable period of time, both with us and after us, he was using a copy trading firm. How do I know that? Because I post, if you go into the topic chat, I posted the testimonial he gave for someone else's copy trading firm. Let me just find it. But yeah, so if I'm just going to copy image and put it into our chat so you can put it on the screen somewhere. Um, how do I add chat? Show chat. Yeah. So this was from, you'll remember them because you were in their group, but if you remember Ninja Assassin back when I used to be friends with Big John, that was her website and he used to use her copy trading. And I know he did that for a long time. And I have a, and he's gone through many prop firms over the last 2 years on his YouTube channel and failed every single one of them. I would say that he's not a good trader.
Mm-hmm.
He's just good at making YouTube videos, and that's okay. That's what he's capable of, and that's what he can do.
So the thing is like if he is not a profitable trader, I'm not sure why he's selling a course. Like that's not right. He had a really large audience of like in the forex industry. And if people like that is selling a course and just making money, that's not true. That's not right at all. And like I just read the thing that you send. Like I don't know who is Ninja. Have Do you know?
So Ninja is from if you remember the old Pip Hunter days, which you should probably just about remember.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, Ninja Assassin, something like
Ninja
that.
was her name. What was her actual name? I think her name was Amy. But she used to go by the alias of Ninja Assassin, and she opened her own thing,
Okay.
and she used to use her copy trading.
Oh, so he was connected with her as she was a successful trader. That's why.
Yep.
Okay. So basically, like, uh, YouTube people, they don't know this side of the moving average. Like, he had a really large audience, and even I didn't know till now. I had some part, like, as I discussed with you, I had some stories that this happened, but like now hearing the whole story from your side about him, I won't consider anything about him right now. Like that.
Yeah. I mean, there is probably more I could say about him, but I'm not going to because I don't see the point. He lacks skill, lacks intelligence, and isn't the trader that people think he is. So what's the point in worrying about him?
Me, like, I agree. The way he record the videos and everything from the start, as I have seen his YouTube channel. He have hook up the audience from one thing that was his life story, something like that. And yeah, so I understand he come from a marketing purpose, but like that's not right to lower the people and buying their courses if they are not the profitable trader. And about the Christine, that girl, I have never seen. I d- and according to me, it's really easy to manipulate result from MetaTrader 4 via using third party applications. So
Christie is at least profitable.
she's
Christie's
profitable.
Yeah, Christie is an okay trader. Christie I can't discredit like that, but Artie I can.
Okay, so because I have seen some people who have actually shown me it's really easy to manipulate the MetaTrader 4 application. It just duplicate the application. While you do that, you just change some of the settings in that, you how much balance you need, and it just show the live account instead of the demo, and it's really
Yeah, you
easy
just
to
use Server
manipulate the
Manager.
whole trade. What?
You can use MT4 Server Manager and do that, so it's not complex.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really hard to find people who are genuinely thinking of growing in this industry. And I think he holds around 400K subscribers or something like that, and having this kind of a large audience, I'm not sure if it's real or not. Who know? He just buy the subscribers.
I mean, if you look at the channel statistics, it's not the statistics he used to get when he was with us. Who knows? Who cares? I don't.
Yeah. So, like, I'm really sad to hear these things, the story about the person who, like, I have seen his channel, and like I thought maybe he had changed, but like hearing now the whole side, maybe I think he was this marketing person.
Probably.
Yeah. So I guess that's the cover the story and the video. If you have things that you need to say to people about him, or about anything about the trading site, just let the audience know. And yeah.
I would say if you're looking for a mentor, look very, very carefully at who's mentoring you. I'm not saying that I'm the right mentor and he's the wrong mentor, not at all. There's hundreds of people out there that can mentor you, but I would look very critically at the results of the students and the transparency of the person behind it. When Artie hides most of his life behind smoke and mirrors, he doesn't show cars or anything. Yeah, he shows some bikes. Bikes are cheap, great. Um, like showing a $10,000 bike is nothing. Like I could go and show my Celica and go, look, I've spent 50 grand in this. Or I could go and show my Spitfire and go, look, I spent 30 grand in this. Or my Supra and be like, I spent 70 grand in this. That's a
Yeah.
bit more than like $10,000 worth of push bike. Um, or like go look at his Instagram and you see him flying in first class. It's like, yeah, congratulations. It could have been a 40-minute flight and the first class ticket was, well, it wasn't even first class, it was business class, but it could have been a 40-minute flight and the ticket was like 700 quid. Like,
Yeah.
you really have to consider, are they actually living like this? Are
Yeah,
they
like,
doing this
is it
sort of
only
stuff?
for
What are they doing?
marketing purpose or not? Like, so from my side, like, I have, Okay, I can understand there are really, so I have taken a task actually, you know, expose these people who are just from marketing side, and actually there will be
It's a big task.
what.
Big task, because lots
Yeah.
of the industry is.
It- no, like it's really not right, because I have seen okay, this industry from the start, like in 2019, if you go, there were less people, but like they were really genuine what they say and talk about.
We say that, but then some of them have been caught up with fraud. Like, go look at Uncle Ted, and he was in part of like I think it was a $30 million lawsuit.
Oh,
And
Uncle
yet,
Ted
when
too.
we were starting, Uncle Ted being on Wix Don't Lie, he was like the big thing. But yeah, actually, Uncle Ted was full of shit.
Well, I don't know about I don't know the whole story about that. Actually, I didn't know that Uncle Ted was things like that. So I don't know. And about the Wig Don't Lie, Raja Bank, I think, according to from my side, I genuinely believe that he is a good trader. I genuinely think that the
Wix Don't Lie is a good trader, as far as I can tell, anyway.
what?
Here, I just sent you the article. I just sent you the article which has Uncle Ted in it. It was 145 million.
Let me just turn it on.
You can read that in your own time, obviously, but yeah, I think a lot of the industry back when
Yeah.
sort of we were younger was legitimate, but a huge amount of it was still absolutely like rotten to the core. And I would say that with time, it's probably, I'd actually argue it's slightly better now than it was back then.
Okay, that, that
There are a
like fighting for
huge
your
amount of
own.
fakers, but
What?
I would say that there's more genuine people now than there was in 2019.
Okay. So, like I think, like from my side till now, I think about Raja Bank. He's shown the genuine results, because I have actually seen some of the thing, and like about Uncle Ted, before like this this era, like I don't know the whole story, but still now. So I think Uncle Ted, the thing, he if he was a scammer, then I don't think so Raja was included in that. That's why,
Yeah, I would agree.
that because
The
he is
the
a
only
genuine
doubt,
person. He have never marketing stuff. Like I have seen, he have making thousands of live streams after that. He was like, at this stage. So
yeah, he did the live streams and then the products came late, much later.
yeah.
That being, I do consider, like these days, I do consider how much of it is still him trading. Like when he owns a brokerage and magic keys and stuff like that, I still have that semi doubt. But then I'm like, well, for like 1,000, 2,000, because before he did YouTube, he did Twitch.
Oh,
So he
but
has
he
been
was banned
streaming a
from
lot.
Twitch, right? I think, because I think on Twitch, if you trade financial market, it's not right. Maybe wild rules.
Yeah, he got banned. That's why he moved to YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, Although apparently you can do it now.
Oh,
Don't know if that's true.
I don't know. So,
But
if and we are on Raja Bank topic, so like I would like to highlight that, I'm not sure if have you seen or not, but like he done a series of from $5,000 account till he said like we will grow it for like 3 months, and by the end of the 3 month, he have grown it to $30,000 account. And like I agree with one. I have seen the whole series, and I have actually calculated everything the way he traded. Like he was trading live, so I was watching him. It was all by risk management. I can see like he was just taking 1 or 2% max. He never exceeded that risk in that period of time. So
yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
I think he had a really good part, and I think he is the best guy and the positive side from me, because actually I learned from him too, from ICT and stuff like that. Like I think he have a really what we call complex setups ICT, And if I come back to Raja, he had a really simple setups. But the
Big
thing,
Stonewall is just really straightforward, easy trading. And although it's price action, it's mathematically based because he's done data and research on it. So, yes, you can argue it's price action, but it's also not. He is actually trading based off of an indicator. In theory, his indicator is wick filling, which he's tested.
well, possibly. Like the thing is, like his indicators is in mind, right? It's not on the chart
Yeah,
like it's saying. But yeah,
but
it's true.
not all indicators
If
have
you
to be
think that way,
physical.
it's
And if
right.
you go and turn his thing into a physical indicator, it would take you 30 seconds just to make an indicator be like, if trend is doing this, then and candle leaves wick, give a little alert, and it would do it. It like his method is essentially mathematically driven of he's just going for wick fills and stuff like that. But he is putting it under the guise of price action.
Okay. So, I mean, like the my point was like as in beginner trader, like if you go through first the basic concepts, so I will take Raja's concept. Okay, then like if you go through ICT, then maybe you can understand a little bit. That's what I believe. Like because if you directly jump to ICT concepts, it's not understandable at all.
I think if you want to understand ICT, you really want to read the book Naked Forex. And
Okay.
there's a couple of Elliott Wave books that I'd recommend as well. Let me just see if I've still got them, and I can give you the names.
Sure.
So I'm just downloading them now, but one is called Elliott Wave Principle by Robert Ballin, and the other one is The Prec is by AJ Frost and Robert R. Prechter, and it's called Elliott Wave. I'm
Hmm.
just linking them to you now. Obviously, don't give these to people because they are technically copyrighted content, but just between friends, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, that's sending across. But yeah, those two books and Naked Forex would probably be the third book. If you've read all three of those, then ICT should be really straightforward
Okay.
because it's nothing new. That's the thing with ICT and like SMC and stuff.
He
There's
just taken
nothing new.
history concept and make it a really good concept, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's this was really good. Like it's more informative, and yeah.
I try to always stay on the information and facts side. I don't like veering into opinions.
So
So,
mainly like we won't go through much about this topic, but like let's say if maybe we can have next part about the podcast, like we can say we can talk about other than especially about the trader who are just a scam basis. So we can do that in the next part, sure. But yeah, if you have things to say, anything that you need to cover right now. No.
uh, no, nothing.
Great. Okay. So guys, we're gonna end this video over here. I'll put the Discord links in the group. I'll put his YouTube channel in the group. So if you want to reach him out, I'll put the Instagram's basic information that you need to reach him out. I'll put all in the description. And guys, again, if you like to trade with indicators, you can. I will put his Discord group, and you can learn it from that side too. So, and let me tell you one thing, that I'm not affiliated with any of this. Okay, we are just doing it for you guys. So guys, that's it. That's the whole podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions related to the topics that we cover, just put the comment down below and we're gonna cover it. So say goodbye to everyone, and we're gonna end it here.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. And
Yes,
then,
welcome.
second of all, I will probably catch you in another video. But yeah, take care, and I'll see you on the next one.
Great. So guys, thank you for being part of this trading journey. I will see you in the next video.